Welcome student in my virtual class. Today we start a new topic, probability theory. Probability. It is very easy to you. Anyone know what is probability? Most of the person know what is probability. Probability is very simple. If we throwing a die, then probability of getting a 6 is very simple, 1 by 6. If we throw a coin, what is the chance that it will be a head? It is also 50%. That means someone say it is 1 by 2. 50% chance of getting head, 50% chance of getting tail. So what is probability? The concept of probability is known to all of us, either in totally or partially. So probability, the word probability means chance phenomena, is used with reference of class of experiment also, okay, known as random experiment. Here we write the experiment, random experiment, trial or event, sure event, etc. All these things discussed later on. So what is the meaning of probability? Meaning of probability is nothing but the chance phenomena. Okay, chance phenomena from the probable. Later the word came from probability, from probable value. From probable value. We use the word probability in many situations without the definition of the meaning of the term. For example, if we say the probability that it will rain tomorrow is 70%. The probability of getting a head in tossing a coin is 40%. The probability of a newborn baby be a girl is 50%, etc. The word probability used in above statement express our degree of belief on happening the some events, like it will rain tomorrow, we will get a head in tossing a coin, or a newborn baby will be a girl, etc. But actually here we try to characteristics probability in an unscientific manner. So we study probability in scientific manner. So first, the definition of probability. Definition, there are three types of definition. One is mathematical or classical, second one is statistical, and third one is axiomatic definition of probability. Not only these three, we can conclude obviously probability as a measure also. In measure theory, probability as a measure between 0 to 1. And stochastic definition of probability, there exists also stochastic definition of probability, that is in Markov process, which is not in our syllabus obviously. We are interested only on the first one, mathematical definition or classical definition. After some time we give also the axiomatic definition. Obviously not today's class. Today we are consider only this one, mathematical definition or classical definition. To start classical definition or going to classical definition, the few words are very important to give the definition of probability, classical definition of probability obviously. So which are the term? First term, the experiment. What is an experiment? And random experiment. After that we write random experiment. So what is an experiment and what is random experiment? What is the difference between them? Experiment. What is experiment? Very easy. The term experiment refers to describe an act which can be repeated under some condition. Experiment means the term experiment refers to describe an act which can be repeated under some condition. That is experiment. That means anything is experiment. Anything is experiment, roughly speaking. If we throwing a coin is experiment. You give the exam, this is also experiment. And in chemistry lab, the mixing of two things in test tube, this is also experiment. So experiment in repeated under some condition. Obviously conditions are applied for this. So what is random experiment? First we give the definition of random experiment, then we discuss. It is a class of experiment for which we know a priori set of different possible results and which are such that it is impossible to predict which one of the set will occur at any particular performance of experiment. I repeat once again, what is random experiment? Random experiment is nothing but the all outcomes, all result of the experiment are known to us. For example, if we throwing a die, then what is outcomes? Either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6. If we throwing a coin, either head outcomes or tail outcomes. Head or tail, nothing but these two. Clear? For throwing a die, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You give the exam, then either you passed on this subject or failed in this subject. Obviously, the all possible outcomes are known, but what is actually happened, it is not known. But what is actually happened, it is not known. That is, if we throwing a die, either 1 outcomes, either 2 outcomes or 6 outcomes, it is not known to you. You say from 1 to 6, any one of these come. But actually what happens, it is not known to us. So this is random experiment. All possible outcomes are known, but which is actually happened, it is not known. Next, trial and event. These two most probably similar terms. The experiment is called a trial. The experiment is called a trial, and the possible outcomes are known as the event or cases. The experiment is called a trial and the possible outcomes are known as the events or cases. The events can be defined in other way also with the help of the sample space. So trial means the experiment. If we throwing a die, this is trial. If we throwing a die, this is trial. If we tossing a coin, this is trial. And the outcomes, that means if we throwing a die, the outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6. These are events. And first to define what is sample space, then we definition of event again. What is sample space? All possible outcomes of a trial, build up in a set form known as sample space. Now, trial is throwing a die. If we throw a die, the all possible outcomes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If we write this in set form, that means within second bracket, this is known as sample space of this trial. This is denoted by S or capital omega. Another, if we throwing a coin, the outcomes are head or tail. Let H for head and T for tail. Then the possible outcomes are H and T. This can be notated at omega. This is capital omega, sign of omega, H, T. So sample space is nothing but the all possible outcomes of random experiment or a trial build up a set form known as sample space. Now event can be, this event can be defined with the help of sample space. Event is a subset of sample space. Events is a subset of sample space. Events is nothing but subset of a sample space. Okay. Next we write here sure event, sure or certain event and impossible event. So what is sure event? Sure means very easy, sure or certain, not sure and certain. Sure, not sure and certain. Is a famous dialogue in a Bengali picture, that is Bhanu Goenda Johor assistant. In this picture, sure and certain severally use this word, sure and certain. So what is sure event? Sorry, sure or certain event, that means which occurred surely, and impossible which cannot occur. So for this, give an example. Now if we throw a coin, the sure event is head or tail. Head or tail. In a coin, either head or tail outcomes. So sure event, head or tail. Impossible event, using this also, head and tail. Just right here. Here is or and second one is and. Head and tail. If a unbiased coin is tossed, unbiased means chance phenomena of both these two, head and tail, are same. This is known as unbiased. So head and tail simultaneously occur. Totally impossible. Or another way, another example of impossible event, 7 outcomes of throwing a die. 7 outcomes of throwing a die. We know that a die contains how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 outcomes throwing a die is totally impossible. Okay. Next, another 2 terms missing there, sure and certain event, impossible event. Simple event and composite event. Simple event and composite event. If we take only one outcomes, then it is known as simple event. That means if we take one, not only one, if we take 3, throwing a die, sample space is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, only 3 outcomes. If we take 3 only, 1, if we take only one event, then it is simple event. So composite, obviously more than 1. If we define with throwing a die, outcomes of an even number. Outcomes of an even number. How many even numbers are there? 2 is even number, 4 is even number, 6 is even number. So how many even numbers are there? 3. So if we take even number, the events even number, of throwing a die, even number outcomes of throwing a die, then we get more than 1 events. So it is composite events. Simple means we take all, consider only one events, or known as simple, and if we consider more than 1 events, known as composite event. Simple event and composite event. Next we study about these 3 terms: equally likely events, mutually exclusive events, and exhaustive events. Equally likely, mutually exclusive, and exhaustive. These 3 are very important terms if we consider the classical definition, these three terms are very, very important. Okay, these three terms are very, very important. Now we discuss these three. Okay, we study about these three: equally likely, mutually exclusive, and exhaustive. First we define mutually exclusive. Second one, this one, mutually exclusive. Mutually exclusive is very simple. Mutually exclusive means they cannot occur simultaneously. Roughly speaking, they cannot occur simultaneously. Or if A and B are two events said to be mutually exclusive events are known now. A and B are two events are said to be mutually exclusive if A intersection B is 5. There is no common term between A and B. A and B are said to be mutually exclusive. That means the set form A and B are mutually disjoint set. They cannot occur simultaneously. Several events are said to be mutually exclusive or mutually disjoint when no two of them can occur simultaneously. This is mutually exclusive. Very simple. If we throw a coin, if head out comes, then tail cannot occur. If tail out comes, then head cannot occur. That means head and tail are mutually exclusive event. Head and tail are mutually exclusive event. If you give an exam, either you passed on this exam or you failed in that exam. Either pass or fail. Pass and fail simultaneously occur. No probability, no chance. So A and B are said to be mutually exclusive if in set form A and B, set form A intersection B is 5. So it is no problem at all. Mutually exclusive. After in next class we define independent event. Some students are mutually exclusive and independent are same type. It is not at all. Okay, and at the time of define independent, I repeat once again this one. Next, exhaustive events, and at last we give the definition of equally likely. Exhaustive event. What is the meaning of exhaust? What is the meaning of exhaust? Exhaust fan, this known to all of you. That means if we do some experiment, random experiment, at least one of the outcomes must possible. At least one outcomes. If we throw a die, we do not throw this die in the escape velocity. This is not exhaustive. Okay, if we throwing a die, we get either 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 6, etc. So what is exhaustive events? Several events are said to be exhaustive if at least one of them necessarily occur. At least one of them necessarily occurs. Whatever its random experiment is performed. That means if we throw a die, at least one of the outcomes, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, at least one of them must outcomes. Clear? So this is exhaustive. That means the experiment come to an end and we get a result. This is exhaustive events. And finally, equally likely. This is the defects of probability. Classical definition, defects of classical definition of probability. Equally likely means equal probable. Equally likely means equal probable. Since we use probable, that means this is obviously probability. That means equally likely means equal probable. So without knowledge of probability, we can't define equally likely. We can't define equally likely events. That means if we throw a die, the chance of 6 outcomes is 1 by 6. We have given this earlier. So now in first throw 6 not outcomes, in second throw 6 not outcomes, in third throw 6 not outcomes, in fifth throw 6 not outcomes. that is not meaning in sixth row we get a 6. That is not meaning we get a 6 at the sixth outcome, sixth row. It is not possible. That means when we throw the die first times, our chances of success is 1 by 6. In the second throw, chances of success outcomes is 1 by 6. In the 10th row, the chances of success is 1 by 6. That means these things is equally likely or equal probable. In this case, we say a story, but for it's not time to give the story for in video. Okay. So if we know these three terms, next we define the classical. Next we give the classical definition of probability. Next we give the classical definition of probability. Okay. Next we give the classical definition of probability. Now in this stage to define classical definition. To state classical definition. Sorry. Now it is written, if in a trial there are n exhaustive, mutually exclusive and equally likely cases. I repeat, previously I said these three terms are very important: mutually exclusive, equally likely and exhaustive. So in a trial there are n exhaustive, mutually exclusive and equally likely cases, and m of them are favorable to an event A. M of them are favorable to an event A. Then the probability of happening of A, is denoted by P of A and is defined by P of A is equal to M by N. That means number of favorable cases divided by total number of cases. These n cases are exhaustive, equally likely and mutually exclusive events. Exhaustive, mutually exclusive and equally likely. This is the classical definition of probability. You must write these three terms, otherwise you get 0. To give the classical definition of probability, you must mention these three terms: exhaustive, mutually exclusive and equally likely. Now from classical definition, very simple sum. If we throwing a die, write down the sample space. I have already written previously. If we throwing a die, the sample space 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Now A be the events here. A be the events and even number or odd number. A be the events that odd number outcomes of odd number. So in favor of A, there are how many cases? 1 is odd number, 3 is odd number and 5 is odd number. So instead of total number of possible cases are n is equal to how much? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6. And m, number of favorable cases in favor of A. M of them are favor of A. How much? How many? 1, 2, 3. So m is equal to 3. So P of A is equal to 3 by 6, that is equals to 1 by 2. Now throwing two coins. Write down the sample space. Suppose S, again S with the sample space. Both are head. First one head, second one is also head. First one head, second one is tail. Throwing two coins. First one is tail, second one is head, and both are tail. Now if we define in an event, say B is an event, only one head or one head, only, so first only one head. So there are total number of cases here. N is equal to 4. N is equal to 4 and M only one head. This is one head, this is also one head. So M is 2. Therefore P of B is given by 2 by 4, that is 1 by 2. From well shuffled pack of cards. From well shuffled pack of cards. How many cards are there? 52 cards. And how many are black cards? 13 plus 13, 26. How many cards are red? 13 plus 13, 26. So, from a well shuffled pack of cards, there are 52 cards. And 4 types of cards are there. One is clubs, spade, these two are in black color, diamond and so clubs, spade, diamond and fourth one is hearts. These diamond and hearts are red in color and these two are in black. Clubs and spade are in black color and this is diamond and hearts are in red color. Now, so each 13 into 4, that is 52. Now my question is that from a well shuffled pack of cards, one card is drawn at random. What is the probability that it will be a heart? So total number of cases n, here n is total 52 cards, so n is equal to 52. And number of possible cases, how many hearts are there? Each term 13, so 13, n is equal to 13. So probability of getting hearts, say denoted by h, say 13, number of favorable cases divided by total number of cases. After simplification, we get 1 by 4. These are the example, number of favorable cases divided by total number of cases. This is the probability of the classical definition of probability. Now, we can easily prove the probability of any event must be lie 0 to 1. Must lie within 0 to 1. How? Number of favorable cases divided by total number of cases is the probability. So number of favorable cases must be less than or equals to total number of cases. That means we can conclude m always less than equals to n, and therefore n, total number of cases, must be positive. So if we divide it by n on both sides, then we get m by n less than equals to 1. M by n is nothing but probability of A. That means we may conclude P of A less than equals to 1. So if you solve any problem or probability and you get the answer which is greater than 1, then your marks on that problem is 0. This is sure and certain event. If any question your answer will be greater than 1, then you get 0. This is sure event. Probability 100%. And number of favorable cases, if there is no number of favorable cases, that means number of favorable cases will be 0. That means m must be greater than equals to 0. So if we divide by n on both sides, so m by n must be greater than equals to 0. M by n is nothing but P of A by our definition. So P of A always greater than equals to 0. Therefore probability of any event always lies between 0 to 1. Probability of any event always lies between 0 to 1. Now we know the set theory. Suppose total number of cases using this diagram, this is known as Venn diagram also, it is known to all of you. Suppose in favor of A, total number of cases is n, and in favor of A, this is the set A set. In favor of A, there are n cases. So outside A is known as how much? If this is A set, then the outside A is A complement. outside A is A complement, written as A dashed or A bar or A power C, A complement. Now in favor of A, how many outcomes are there? M. M is in favor of A. So the number of cases which are not in favor of A, which are not in favor of A, how much? Very simple. Total number of cases N. So in favor of which are not favor of A, that means favor of A complement. That means this number N minus M is the number of cases which are favored to A complement. That means by our classical definition, if you find P of A complement, that is equals to number of favorable cases favored to A complement is N minus M by total number of cases. Total number of cases is N. Now if you breaking this part by part, then we get N by N minus M by N. N cancel out, so you get 1 minus M by N. Now M by N is nothing but P of A. So P of A complement is equal to 1 minus probability of A. Probability of A complement is nothing but 1 minus probability of A. Probability of A complement is equal to 1 minus probability of A. Okay. Now we go to this again, that is cards. In every suit, or like clubs or diamonds or hearts, etc., each contains 2, 3, 4 up to 10, and J, Jack, Q, Queen, King, and S. So 2 to 10, how many numbers? 2 to 10, 8 numbers or 9 numbers? 2 to 10 is 9, not 8. So this is 9, 10, 13, 14, sorry. 2 to 10 is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So there are 13 cards of diamonds, of clubs, or hearts, etc. So if the question is from a well shuffled pack of cards, so how many kings are there? How many kings are there? 4. 1 king of heart, king of diamond, king of clubs, and king of spade. How many queens are there? 4 queens. How many S are there? A means A-C-E, S. 4 and jack. This is also 4. From a well shuffled pack of cards, one card is drawn at random. What will be the probability that it will be a diamond or a king? It will be a diamond or king. So total number of cases in this case also, total number of cases N is equal to how much? 52, total 52 cards. And diamond or king, how many diamonds are there? 13. How many kings are there? So total number of cards in favor of the events is, most of the students say that 13 plus 4 is 17, but which is not true. If we take all diamonds, that means kings of diamond are also present here. So other than kings of diamond, there are 3 kings. So M, number of favorable cases is 13 plus 3, that is 16. Therefore, the probability of diamond or king is given by 16 by 52. 16 by 52, not 17 by 52. You must consider diamonds, king of diamonds. Okay, 16 by 52, not 17 by 52. This can be written in other way also by using the theorem of total probability, discuss later on. So Next question. My next question is, find the probability a leap year contain 53 Sundays. Find the probability that a leap year contain 53 Sundays. Find the probability that a leap year contain 53 Sundays. Very easy. Leap year means how many days? 366. So how many weeks in a year? We know that 52 weeks in a year. If we divide it by 7, then we get 535, 5 7 35, 1 6, 7 2s are 14, 2. So 2 days are remaining in a leap year after completion completes the 52th week. So these 2 days, if the 52th week means 52 Sunday always present in a year, so no problem at all. Just we consider the 53 Sunday, that means last Sunday. Now if 52th week end at Saturday, then the 2 days are remaining. If the 52th week end at Saturday, then next 2 days will be Sunday, Monday. Not necessarily the 52th week end at Saturday, it may be end at Sunday also. On that case, this is next 2 days Monday, Tuesday. Next 2 days Monday, Tuesday. Now if the 52th week end at Monday, then the next 2 days Tuesday, Wednesday. If the 52th week end at Tuesday, then the next 2 days Wednesday, Thursday. If the 52th week end at Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, next Thursday, Friday. Next Friday, Saturday, and one is remaining Saturday, Sunday. In that case, Saturday, 52th week end at Saturday. This is 52th week end at Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Okay, and end at Saturday we have already written. So how many cases are there? Last 2 days maybe arises in these cases. So these are the sample space for the 2 days, next 2 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So total number of cases n is 7. And how many Sundays are there? This one, first one, and last one. So required probability n is equal to how much? M is 2. Therefore required probability are 2 by 7. These events are equally likely, mutually exclusive, and exhaustive events. Obviously, we consider all the 7 cases end at Sunday, end at Monday, or etc. So these events are exhaustive events also. Clear? Now my question is, if it is not leap year, then how many days? 365. For leap year, find the probability that a not leap year, every year, ordinary year contain 53 Sundays. Find the probability that an ordinary year contain 53 Sundays. This is the question. And another one, if in a room there are 4 persons, find the probability that all have different birthday. All have different birthday dates. That means within a year 365. All have, if in a room there are 4 persons, what is the probability that all have different birthday? Okay, that's all for today.